Hi, today we are going to tear down a DINGO box to demonstrate its modularity. This teardown is actually a practical example, as we are actually using the same box as a customer of ours has. It has 3 plugins in: the power supply unit, it has a GSM plugin for internet connectivity, and it has an M-bus plugin for communicating with wired M-bus meters. Recently the customer found out that they are going to add such a lot of M-bus sub-meters that the wiring cost in the building was far too high. So they took a decision to move over to wireless M-bus. That means that this box is useless after that decision. So we are going to tear it down and replace the wired M-bus plugin with a wireless M-bus plugin. And in addition to that, they want to use the same box as a DigiLux server. DigiLux is a graphics application software for IoT management. So you can check that on the web, digilogic.com. So, what we do, we will tear down the box, replace the internal compute module, the Raspberry Pi compute module, that is in this case a compute version 1, that is Raspberry 2 compatible, with a compute version 3 module, that is Raspberry Pi 3 compatible. More core, more memory, much more powerful module to support the DigiLux software. In addition, DigiLux is only supported on Raspberry Pi 3 platforms, not Raspberry Pi 2 platforms, so this has to be done. So this actually describes pretty well the importance of having such boxes modular, because when such decisions of changing or additions are taken, you don't have to throw out the old box and install a new box. No, you just modify it, and it's very quickly and easy to do so. This can even be done on site. What we need for this project is, of course, the wireless M-bus plugin. We need the antenna cable and antenna, and a terminal closure to replace the one already here for the wired M-bus. We are going to close this totally. You don't really need to do that, but anyway. And we might need some screws to fasten the new wireless M-bus. And then we have the Raspberry Pi 3 module here. The tools you need are only 2 sets of screwdrivers, one for star and one normal, and 2 8mm keys to remove the antenna. One thing to mention here is that this top plate is with one antenna hole only. So it has to be replaced with a top plate for 2 antenna holes, one for GSM and the other one for wireless M-bus. So let's start the teardown. First of all, we remove the antenna. Okay, there that goes. And let's open the top lid. That's pretty easy. And we loosen the antenna from the top lid, because we are going to replace the top lid. We use the 8mm for that. This, okay. Whoops. Well, we lost a washer there, but anyway. So when the top plate is removed, we turn it upside down and remove the bottom lid. That's also pretty easy to do. Just like that. So off it goes. When you have done that, you actually push down the whole electronic stacks from the top, just very carefully, and be careful with this wire that it doesn't fasten anywhere and becomes ripped off. So away with the box. Okay, let's take a look what we have here. We have the computer board. As we are going to replace the compute module, we have to remove the compute board with a user interface board on top. That is actually an LED plus LCD screen board in this case. Okay, so on the bottom we see the plugins. This is the power supply plugin. This is the GSM plugin with a SIM card. And here is the MBus 80 plugin for wired MBus that can connect up to 80 MBus meters. That one we are going to replace afterwards. But let's first take the compute module and replace that. So that's simple. We take it like that. So out goes the compute 1 module. Be careful, before you take the compute module, you have to take a backup of the database. That's the only thing you have to move from this compute module to the COM3 module. So you don't lose all your configuration for backnet updates and such things. Okay. And then we take the compute 3 module. So there's a slight difference here. It looks quite similar on the bottom, but on the top it's different. So, and in goes that module. You can't turn it wrong. It's impossible. So it clicks in, and that's fine. So then the computer board is ready. It's upgraded to more horsepower with a COM3 module instead of COM1. That's all done. The only thing left to do is when you start this up is to download the database from the previous one to this one, because this one is pre-installed with Raspbian and Dingo stack. So, except of course the database that has to be ported over. Okay, fine. Last thing we have to do here is to replace the wired MBus plugin for the wireless one. There are 2 screws holding it in the socket. We have chosen to use old style screws for fastening because it seems to be the best solution in terms of avoiding things get loose in installation scenarios where you have vibrations. To take out. So now it's come up. So this one comes up. It uses this connector set and also an optional connector, 4 connectors here on the side. The wireless one, however, is different. It only has those connectors here. It's not using the side connectors. So let's first, it's always best to put this antenna connector on before you install it. It goes here on this small male connector on the plugin. Oops. Here we go. So it's ready for install. The same way it goes in. So, and be careful, you should see the screw holes, the holes for the screw match the nuts beneath. If it's not matching, it's not connected directly or correctly in, so pull it out again and put it correctly in. This is fine. We put in the screws. Put in the screws. This one has all 3 screws open. Some of them don't because the electronics doesn't allow it, so sometimes you only have 2. Okay. That is just normally tight. Do not over threaten those. No reason to do that. Okay, we are done with that. Then comes the computer board on top with its new module. More horsepower and probably more heat also. And it's impossible, the connectors are made such and designed such, it's impossible to connect this wrongly. It's impossible. So you can relax regarding that. Okay, then it's finished, so to say, the electronics. So the only thing left is to put it in the box again. Both are free now. Okay, let's check it again. Both are free. Good. We close it. Like that. Okay, the only thing left now is to put the lid on or fasten those in the two-hole top plate. Okay, here's the top plate with 2 holes. In case you don't have a 2-hole plate, you can always just drill a new hole with a 6.5mm drill, or even 6mm if you want it really tight. So let's fix this. This is the one from the wireless Amperes plug-in. So that goes here to the end. Okay. You use the washers if you want. It's up to you. Okay, that's the wireless Amperes, and then comes the GSM. There's a washer here too. The washers are fine to use because they fasten the connectors better if you use them. Okay. Then let's tighten it a little bit. As there is a plastic pin in between, don't put too much force on the tightening. Just as it's stiff enough. So, and GSM one. Okay, good. And on goes the lid. Okay. So now actually the installer would probably use some coax cables to feed the antennas outside of a metal cabin, but for this demo we simply put the antennas on. The Amperes antenna, well, was that was the Amperes antenna, wasn't it? Oh, that's the one. It's longer. Okay, and it's up to you what kinds of antenna you use. It depends on how good coverage you want to get. So let's tighten it up a little bit, like that. And we put the GSM one. GSM. Okay, one minor thing to do is to replace this terminal code. It's not valid anymore with Amperes, wired Amperes. To do that, it's you just press the box a little bit inside above the terminal connector, and out goes the connector. It's very easy if you do it that way. Don't try to force it out. Let's do it again. Okay, it's in. You push inward with the thumb here above the connector, and then you simply pull it out. Okay, there are no terminals for wireless amps, of course, because the wireless signal goes out of the antenna. So we are going to simply put an all closed terminal cover there. Here we go. We have upgraded this box with a wireless amps plug-in and given it more horsepower by replacing the Raspberry Pi COM1 module with a COM3 module, ready to go for installation with DigiLux server. And the only thing left actually is to copy the database, the DingoStack database from the old setup to the new module, and start configuring the wireless amps meters. We're using DINGO Modification, but that's all for a separate video. This has shown how cool it is to have those boxes modular. You can change them, modify them as needed. Thank you.